Hi, welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. A big welcome back to everyone who is subscribed. Thank you so much for your beautiful friendship and for your support of me here in this space. And if you're not a subscriber, if you're new to this channel, please join us and pull up a chair and grab yourself a cup of tea and some snacks, and we'll have a little bit of a chat because we are all friends when we gather at my table here. Today's pick a card reading, I felt called to do a message that you need to hear today from Spirit. So your guides and angels really want to reach out to you with some specific messages that you need right this moment. So you may be kind of on the verge of a decision that needs to be made, or you're stuck in a place where you don't know how to crawl your way out of that space. So Spirit's here to heed your call. They're here to support you. So we have a message that you need, and we have 3 piles for you to choose from today. We have pile number 1 with the pink button and the flame, the hot sauce, which is the sun card of the Food Fortunes deck. We have pile number 2 with the yellow button and the Ace of Sweets, the Ace of Swords, and we have pile number 3 with the blue button and the duo here, the Lover's energy. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting for you from multiple piles potentially as well, and my timestamps are listed below. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. Again, this is a message that you need to hear from your spirit team today. Pile 1. Hello, pile 1. You were drawn to the little pink button, and you were drawn to the flame card, to the hot sauce card. This is the sun in the Food Fortunes tarot. I love hot sauce. On the front of the sriracha here is this rooster, and it's like a call, you know, a morning call to wake up. Spirit says the sun is all about epiphanies. It's about clarity and seeing things truly for what they are, because you may be stuck in a very dark place. And so Spirit's here to kind of liven you up with a little bit of a shot of sriracha here, to liven up your spirits through this reading. So let's see what messages they do have for you today. A message that you need today. There's already a reminder coming in that this too shall pass for you, pile 1. The clouds will not be in the air forever, and that's why they're asking you to kind of rise above. And it's really difficult. It's easy for me to sit here and say, rise above how you're feeling. Spirit understands that saying it and doing it is very different. We have here the Hierophant. We have the King of Swords. They are challenging you to unpack your mind, they said. Because they said that everything that you've been through, and I feel like you could be struggling, for some, I feel like you could be almost struggling in the financial realm or in a pursuit. It's like a pursuit that you've started and it's not going the way that you anticipated. So you could be sort of in a bit of a state of disappointment or fear or worry, and some of your inspiration that made you start in this path in the first place, you may be kind of second guessing at this point. And you may be calling all of this, you know, I'm being, you know, we will say sometimes, oh, you're being so pessimistic, and then we'll counter back and say, no, I'm being realistic. But Spirit actually says, no, you're being pessimistic. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Lovers, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. So this definitely feels like some sort of creative pursuit. And I did see the King of Wands here too. And you may be like right in the middle of some sort of turmoil amidst this path that you have chosen for yourself. But that's why Spirit says you're being challenged here for a reason, because you're starting off with this amazing, amazing idea, this amazing venture, this amazing purpose. But you want to be the top tier. You want to be the best of the best, but we don't become the best unless we are tested often. You know, we don't become the best unless we push ourselves to go there. And so Spirit says that these challenges are made for you because it's a test. It's a test to see how much chutzpah you have. You know, it's a test to see what you're really made of. And they know what you're really made of. They know that you're capable. And so these challenges that you're facing right now are actually being brought forward as an opportunity, Spirit says. Yeah, it's an opportunity for you. 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. Eight of Wands. Back of deck is the Emperor. Everything that you're going through right now is meant to fuel you, is meant to empower you ultimately, and I don't want to use a word like harden you, but it's meant to help you to recognize what you're capable of overcoming. And it's here to help you kind of navigate and consider other ways to kind of claw yourself out of the situation. So it's challenging you to come up with creative escape routes. It's honing, it's like sharpening you. I keep seeing a pencil being sharpened. That's what I keep seeing. And ultimately, Spirit says that all of these setbacks are only going to help you shoot ahead even faster. And so that's why they really wanted to talk to you today, because they don't want you to get stuck. Because what you're doing is important. And what you're doing is going to be successful. But they want you to understand that foundations are important, because it teaches us what the effort is required to create them. You know, it's about self-mastery with the Eight of Pentacles. And the Lovers tells us that we are supposed to look at this from a very logical point of view. You could be a Gemini potentially with the King of Swords and the Lovers present. We also have very strong Taurus energy, so that could be in your chart as well. But they're asking us to look at things from a logical perspective and continue to hone our craft, to continue to work towards our goals, to continue to apply pressure in the same equal force that we have all along. It's like not acknowledging to the universe, oh, you just set me back. Because it's kind of like dealing with a crappy ex sometimes. You know, sometimes you just have to ignore them. Even though they're trying to throw more crap at you, you have to ignore it and keep the steady pursuit, because Spirit says in that way it's almost like you're going to be proving yourself in a way. And it's all about cause and effect. And the Justice comes in because it's teaching us about that balance that's required to maintain the peace, the calm inside of ourselves. And it's going to take time and effort to be able to keep that established and keep that balanced out. There's almost a double message coming in here about your ability to maintain calm in the face of adversity, but also about the abundance that truly is coming for you, because the Three of Pentacles is no joke. And there may be delays in this, and maybe the delays are more realistic than you think that they are. But when we have this great idea and we go charging into the future, we always want things to blow up for us right away. Because even if we're spiritual beings having a human experience here, our human experience has taught us that we want things now. We don't want to wait for them anymore. You know, we don't want to wait. We're frustrated. Frustrated with the delays. Frustrated with some component of our journey here. But Spirit doesn't see a delay. They see opportunity. And they say, hold on, because remember what you've been through that got you to this point. You're too smart to let yourself fall into despair. And that's what they're saying too. You're way too smart. You're way too capable and logical to let yourself fall into despair. So instead, they're like, let's use this. Let's fuel ourselves with some of this frustration. Let's get that chip off of that shoulder. And let's keep applying pressure to this spark. And we talk about this a lot on this channel too, about the spark and about, like, you know, you go camping and you start a fire and you have to feed the fire. You have to breathe on it. You have to put elements of earth into it to get it to fuel, to get it to grow. And so they don't want you to give up on that spark, because they want you to hold on and they want you to keep applying pressure to it. And they say that you're not even doing this just for you. That's the other thing. We have this Queen of Pentacles on the back of the deck as well. And that's what they want you to understand. We have a lot of kings up here. But this is all about energy. It has nothing to do with gender. So you can be a boss here, a boss female, a boss male. It doesn't matter how you identify. It's about you owning your power. Owning this path ahead of you. Because it's leading you not just to all of your, it's like you have all of these goals set in front of you, and what you don't realize that it's going to lead you to is emotional happiness. But it's also our emotions that can be our worst enemy along that path, because we can really fall ourselves or put ourselves into states of fear or worry. We have the 10 of Cups. It was sideways too when it fell out. It was sideways like this. So you're in the midst of a bit of a storm. And we can't always anticipate a tornado that comes in. There's not often a warning sign for disappointments or setbacks, but we have the tools. Spirit says you've been through so much already. You have the tools to weather this storm. You have the tools to weather this, and on the other side of that is the reward, the pot of gold. And for some, I really feel like it's a literal pot of gold. Any restrictions that you feel right now are simply in your mind. And you can see that this person is standing in a little pool of water, because it's the emotion that's controlling that mind right now instead of logic. And that's why Spirit wants to talk to you today, because they want to give you a little shot of sriracha, and they want to say, they want to wake you up with it. We have the Two of Swords, and we have the Four of Wands. Now is not the time to be passive, pile one. Now is not the time to be passive. This Two of Swords, it's like we have decisions that are pertinent right now. There are decisions that need to be made. There are practical steps that need to be taken. And you may sort of feel like you're in a state of being frozen in fear right now. It's like, I don't know how to proceed right now. But Spirit says, just keep stepping forward, and we're going to show you that way. We're going to continue to open up your path for you. Reflect on your priorities, last quarter moon in Aquarius, and eliminate the distractions in your mind that are stopping you from pursuing them. And we have here, know your worth. Know your worth. When you truly embody the totality of your worth, you are literally unstoppable. I was listening to that song earlier today by Lauryn Hill, the old song, Everything is Everything. Sorry, guys, I thought I heard a knock at my door. And she says, after winter must come spring, must come spring. Back of this deck says it's time to forgive, it's time to move forward, and it's time to forgive yourself too. So if this was a setback in your life that you felt is kind of, you put yourself there, it's like, my decisions put me right here. My decisions put me here. And so sometimes we get lost in that. It's like we have so much guilt over that. And it's really anger directed at ourselves when we're feeling guilty, that we have it has nowhere to go. But now it's time to release that. It's time to forgive, so that you can start that healing cycle, and so that you can keep moving forward. We have Nightingale and Dragon. Nightingale and Dragon. Back of the deck is the Starfish. The Starfish is a symbol of healing. The Starfish is a symbol of regrowth after loss. It's like we're in a hopeless situation right now, but Spirit says it's not as hopeless as you're perceiving it to be. It's not a hopeless situation. And for some of you watching, you may even feel like you have to kind of go back to square one or something. It's like you feel like you took 10 steps forward, because I feel like things were going really well at first, and then things fell apart quickly or something. It's like they went really well, and then they slowed right down to a halt. And so you feel like you're starting over. But Spirit says that don't be afraid to start small. Don't be afraid to wield your voice, and don't let the setback set you back, truly. The dragon is speaking about the divine masculine and how he's armored truly for success. He's armored against this type of energy. It's a thicker skin, and that's maybe what we require in this moment, is a thicker skin. And so healing is being asked for you as well. Healing so that you feel more confident, so you can reclaim that confidence, because I feel like you had the confidence here in this issue, and it does really feel like a financial pursuit, a business pursuit, some sort of dream that you are trying to execute here. It definitely could have legs in a relationship, but that is not the primary energy I'm getting for pile one today. Whale and Orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound, and diving deep. And that's why it's really important for you to take this leap, because you're going to be like a mentor to other people. Your experience, your path is going to inspire other people. And so if you don't take that deep dive, other people will not get to benefit from your experience and from these disappointments too, because if you think about mistakes, they don't really, we have such this negative idea about mistakes, but without mistakes, we would be nowhere. We have to learn to crawl before we can walk. There are steps that have to be taken. We have to make mistakes to figure out the right path. Activated earth, power plays, ley lines, and trust. Trust where you're being led right now, because there's a very strong purpose even in now. And if we can wake up every day and say to ourselves that every good thing happens to me, or everything that happens to me is for my ultimate good, it's a lot easier for us to sometimes handle the setbacks that may come out of nowhere. Sorry about the wobble. Back of the deck says the weight of the world, they want you to let it go. It's not yours to carry right now. Lay your worries at the foot of the cross. Truly, they want you to just release the expectations you put on yourself too. You're very hard on yourself. Free yourself of guilt and shame. And back of the deck says courage. It's time to ask for what you want. It's time to ask for what you want, but it's going to take courage in order for you to continue on this path. But Spirit says you have so much waiting for you, so much expansion, and it feels limitless. It's like it feels absolutely limitless. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile one. Message you need in the bowl. We have the Tower. Yep. So there's been some sort of frustrating delay and setback here. The Tower, it can really talk about things breaking down and falling apart. But it's an opportunity for us too, and that's why Spirit came out with the Ace of Pentacles. They're like, this is, I know that you're feeling reeled by this situation, but this is an opportunity, because Spirit says now that this has happened, now that this foundation has shown its cracks, we can repair them. Like now, this wasn't a strong enough foundation to begin with, so now we can see where we need to repair. We can see it's an opportunity for us to learn, to grow, to expand from this moment, and to take this lesson with us moving forward so that we don't have to experience this frustration again. And there's your Nine of Wands as well. It's reversed this time. It's a defensiveness I'm feeling, but they're asking for you to have faith and to hold on. Because on the other side of this is opportunity. Is more gain. We have but in the bowl. And you know, I often say I don't like the word but. And in this case, Spirit's asking us to stop saying. It's like we have every reason to not trust in Spirit right now. We have J and Q. We have the measuring cup. I always think of something half full, half empty. We have the leaf, which is symbolizing change, and this one has a bite out of it. So Spirit says we can't control change, but we can go at it with equal force. It's kind of like when wars are fought and they're all running at each other. I always wondered why there was so much intensity in that situation. It's like, if we might as well get there, we might as well match that energy equally. We do have divine mercy. It's like seeking help from above. We have the lock. You feel stuck perhaps. And we have here the rabbit. You may feel too that like you've had bad luck, kind of. It's like you're batting it away at every angle. You have the leaf of change though. This is not going to stay the way that it is. Peace is coming in for you. The sunshine is coming, and that's why they started with the sunshine. You have the sunshine in your bowl. We have a pineapple, friendships, reunions, and we also have a little paw print. Says, I love my cat. You may have pets, and that's a reminder from your guides about even to get yourself out of a negative mindset, to look around you at all the things you're grateful for. And sometimes we have to start small, looking around our home, looking at our pets, and really feeling the gratitude for what we do have. And that can really help to instill positive frequency and sort of a shift to a different timeline. All right, group one, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. And if it did, I would love to hear your story below so that we can get some words of encouragement back to you. If you are a subscriber, please hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check me out on my Etsy account for a personal reading. But I do hope that you come back here for a little visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Hi, pile two. You were drawn to the yellow button. or to the chocolate here, the Ace of Sweets, the Ace of Swords in the Food Fortunes Tarot. And this is your reading, a message that you need from your guides and angels today. The Ace of Swords is kind of like the truth coming in. Sometimes the truth can hurt. Sometimes the truth can be really sweet. Spirit always aims to give you the messages that you need. They don't always give us the messages that we necessarily want to hear, but there's always an underlying truth that we can recognize in their messages. So they're bringing in some truths for you in this reading pile too. So let's see what those truths are. What is a message that you need to hear today? Whoop. Already we have the King of Wands and the Magician. A message that pile 2 needs. Seven of Pentacles. Two of Swords. The Eight of Swords. The King of Cups. Back of the deck is the King of Swords with the Emperor energy. Already there is a message coming through about feeling trapped. And they're here to sort of come over the top with some truths about whether or not you are actually trapped in the situation that you find yourself in. For some of you, always remember I'm dealing with collective energy, so I do have multiple energies coming in. So for someone watching, I feel like this could be a romantic entrapment where you feel stuck in a relationship or a position in your life. For others, it may feel like in a work environment. It's like you're just not feeling satisfied there. You're not feeling satisfied there. You have other interests and you have other even inspirations, and you have maybe even entrepreneurial pursuits too here with the King of Wands. And you don't feel like you're in control of your own life at this point. It's like you don't feel like you have you don't have hold of the reins. It's like you can see that this horse is kind of galloping away. They're looking a little bit, well, excited, but and that's why the Seven of Swords is in connection to the Chariot here, because with the Ace of Swords as your primary energy, Spirit says that we may be lying to ourselves or other people when we say, I'm stuck. I don't have any options. And that's where they're here to come and give us some gentle nudging, some gentle advice. Sometimes, they're a little more cutting than other times, but to let us know that we are not actually stuck, but they are asking us to kind of take pause and to reflect upon what it is we're trying to build. And we recognize that what we're trying to build is not leading us to our emotional happiness. And we know this, but we're being very passive with this belief system. Because it's like we don't want to leave our current situation unless we know for sure there's something better waiting for us. It's the grass is always greener on the other side mentality. It's like this card from the Jane Austen Tarot says that it is well to have as many holds upon happiness as possible. So it's like we're still holding on to the situation to see if we can find happiness there, but we are not experiencing happiness here in this realm right now. So whether it be in your career, whether it be in your relationships, you're not happy, but we're not really confident or feel strong enough to move forward. And it's leaving us sort of stuck with the Six of Swords is reversed. It's like we feel like we need help. It's like we feel like we need a support system in order to be able to usher in this change. And Spirit says, well, we're already here. The support is right here and we're giving you advice. The Knight of Swords. I feel like you're afraid to tell your truth as well. You're afraid to speak up about what it is you really want and what it is maybe it's even who you really want perhaps. But this definitely isn't the life that you anticipated. This isn't the position in your life that you anticipated. And this Knight of Swords is chomping at the bit for movement. It's restless energy. It's chaotic sometimes with the Knight of Swords. He's so in such a rush that he doesn't think about the plan. He just rushes in with his truth. But there are consequences to that truth. And so you're feeling stuck because it's like, I want movement, but I don't want to face consequences. But Spirit's here to say too that, everything's an equal give and take. As much as there's negative consequences to you removing yourself from a situation that you know you're not feeling emotionally supported in, there is equally the same amount of good that you can gain in that situation too, including a supportive relationship, a loving relationship, including emotional fulfillment in whatever you're pursuing. Again, whether it's a relationship, whether it's career here, Spirit says that we can have something better. We don't have to stay here. They will sit with you as long as you need to. And that's why the Hanged Man is here, to surrender to how things are. And Spirit says we don't have to surrender if we don't want to. We can create change in this situation. But we're going to have to reflect upon the truth. And that's why we have this, thank you, Spirit, for that, because we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Judgment, and we're starting with that Ace of Swords. Because Spirit sees the truth that maybe we see too, but we're not really willing to admit out loud yet. And maybe we've even admitted it to ourselves out loud, but we're afraid to take that step, that tentative action that is required to create the change. But Spirit says it's time. It's time to unload our pressures. It's time for us to take everything we've learned in this situation where we feel trapped and use it to free ourselves, and then use it moving forward to create the abundance that we actually want and need and deserve. Because you deserve to feel better than this. You have sweet results that await you. You have new beginnings that await you when you unload. And the tens are all about the end of the cycle. And there's your Ace of Swords. The tens are all about the Page of Swords, wielding the truth. The tens ask us to let go of something that we have applied effort towards. We've set our sights on. We've made practical gains. But there's a recognition that this is not leading us to anything except more burden. And then when we have this lesson entail, the Page of Swords comes in as an observer, as the student of the deck, and he doesn't really have a lot of experience to go on. All he has is this experience that you have had in this situation, in this relationship, in this career dynamic. Again, apply it to your situation because I'm dealing with collective energy. He doesn't have any information to go on. All he has now is the lesson. He's observed it, and now he's utilizing it. Here's the Eight of Pentacles. Here's the Queen of Swords. Again, there's a very strong energy here towards sort of a career pursuit. Putting effort into something that you are really passionate about, perhaps, but there's also a sense of you releasing. Again, it can be about a relationship because I'm getting that energy. I'm also getting a new career pursuit. And I feel like if that is your message, if you are sort of teetering on the edge of wanting change in your career and you know where you want to be, you just don't know how to execute that yet. That's also for you. The Queen of Swords says she's not afraid to speak her truth. She's not afraid to speak up. She's not afraid to launch her plan. And you know what? It's not even that she's not afraid, because underneath it all, she's like, I'm actually afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a leader. And you know who you are. It's like you're afraid to say it. You're afraid to say it out loud, that this is who I am. But Spirit says it's time for some truth. It's time for us to not be so passive, and instead it's time to start moving on these inclinations. Because what's waiting for us is celebration. What we think is waiting for us, we think it's going to blow up in everyone's face. But what can actually be waiting for us is happiness, is reasons to celebrate. Time to assess the situation, to look at things from an objective point of view, to take our masks off and to truly be honest with ourselves and other people about how we're feeling and our plans on navigating ourselves out of that space. Push through any insecurity to execute this change. And back of the deck says it's time to keep your heart open. Because when we're in the Two of Swords mentality, and this is right in the center of your reading, so this is current energy, it often showcases someone who's blocking that heart chakra with their hands crossed over. And you may be sort of hesitant to move forward because you don't want to experience the past the way that you've experienced again. It's like, I want to put up a shield because I don't want to experience pain like that again. But Spirit says to keep your heart open during this process, to lead with love in this, even if you're detaching from a relationship, to still lead with love. just because something has to come to an end when we've taken stock that this is not what we thought we were hitting the bullseye. We had good intentions. We had good intentions, but over the course of time, we have recognized, because we've grown and changed, that this is not our path anymore, and that's okay. But we have this narrative in society now that that's not okay. That's not okay. And the reason why we have that collective idea is because it challenges the collective to actually step outside of their own comfort zones. And so to change the collective mindset, we have to first be brave enough to change ourselves. Advice, please, what you need. A message you need to hear. We have here the sea serpent, going with the flow. It's truly, there are ties to creation with the sea serpent as well. It's a reminder that this is your journey to explore. It's like an empty notebook that you get to write upon. And we have the whale. So it is time to express ourselves. Because Spirit says if we don't come up and express ourselves, we're sacrificing our own happiness, and we will drown in our current situation. We have the turtle, patience. Being patient with ourselves, even during a healing phase throughout this process, because Spirit says that you'll require that even if you choose to detach and to move forward from a relationship. You will still have a mourning process. And even if you are resonating with the career message and you're thinking about leaving your current career and pursuing something of your own, you could have still that sadness, Endings bring new beginnings, but they still require a period of mourning as well. So be patient with yourself during that transition. Message you need to hear. Up here, keep your temper. Don't allow anger to rule you. And that's why they're sort of talking about a heart space and leading from a heart space. This Knight of Swords can sometimes be a little bit biting with what he has to say. The Queen of Swords can sometimes be, where is she? Can sometimes be brutally honest. So instead, Spirit says it's better to lead with compassion when you make your decision or when you decide to speak up. We have clock time, pressure, and in a rush. They want you to know that time waits for no one, and that they don't want to see you sort of wishing away a moment of your life because they feel like you're anticipating. It's like you're living outside of the present moment always. You're always, your heart, your mind is always in another place than it is right this moment. And instead, they want you to appreciate this moment fully and almost in a remembrance sort of energy. It's like we can sit in this moment and be like, I'm so grateful that I have this moment to remember of how it used to be. And in that way, you're going to feel so much more gratitude when you reach this level of happiness, this emotional abundance of the King of Cups. And again, for some of you, this is representing a relationship that's waiting for you, a supportive relationship that's waiting for you. We have growing up on the back of the deck, wanting to grow in experience and rejection of perpetual youth. And you want to learn, you want more. You want to expand. Give yourself permission to do so, Spirit says. Give yourself permission to expand. Star Brothers, it says protection, loyalty, safety, trust. This could be sort of testing the loyalty that you feel like you have or other people's perceptions of you. And we have breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. And back of the deck says, Whale and Orca Elders. This card has been coming out a lot. It says, share your song. We have the whale here. Frequency of sound and diving deep. Expression. The universe will take care of the big picture. Your guides and angels will take care of the big picture. They just want you to take that first step. That is their goal for you. And their first step for you is literally just to see things clearly. And it's not even that you don't, because Spirit says that deep down you do. It's about willing to admit it to yourself. The willingness to admit it. We have here clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you, so be open to romance. Be open to romance. Resources do surround you. And those resources are your guides and angels. Invite them to help you. Invite them into your space and say, help me, please. Show me the way. Show me the correct path to my highest good. Lead me out of this feeling. We have good luck on your side as well. You are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you, and bless the world with color and good luck. Sorry, my eyes are getting terrible. We also have rebirth, and oh, I love that for you. Transformation that's starting inside of you because of the epiphanies. You can reinvent yourself. Open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. And that is for the entrepreneurs in the crowd who have great ideas. And the world needs those ideas. But everything that you see around you was because somebody had an idea and they executed it. And you are so capable to execute your own amazing ideas as well. We have greatness, elephant. Love is your strength. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem, and you will naturally and easily achieve success. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 2. A charm bowl, please, for pile 2. A message that they need. Whoops. Don't be hesitant. You can see the horse is hesitant to go over that path. A little vulnerable. Oh, we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So for some of you, like I said, you're hesitant to perhaps leave behind a very strong foundation that you've spent a lot of time investing in. A lot of time, years. And you have been I don't think that any of this is a surprise to you, because I feel like you've been juggling the truth for a really long time. You know, you've been holding space for this pursuit, this change, this shift. You've been considering it for a really long time. And so Spirit is here to acknowledge that and to bring in this sort of a reminder for you. If you had kind of put it to a back burner, they're here to bring it forward for a reason at this time. Now may be the time for you to execute. We have the World Marble here. Success. Success in the bowl. We have the chain, though. And I do think about the double energy with the chain, about insecurities and the things that hold us back. We have the letter U and Q and Z. We also have Virgo in the bowl. We have a tiny little pearl of wisdom, and there is a flat shell here with the Empress. There could be mothers in the crowd as well. We have the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is a challenging card because it is challenging our insecurities. It's like determination, though, to overcome the challenge. And it's not insurmountable, Spirit says, but they definitely acknowledge that this is going to be a big leap for you. We have here the mermaid, a siren in the bowl, and we have the tree of life, signifying a family unit potentially, or something that you have grown over time. All right, my dear, that's what I had for you today. Pile number 2. I hope that it resonates. And if it did, I would love to hear your story below in the comments section. And I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell and your like button, because it does help me to bring you guys more content. And if you do subscribe and drop me a comment, be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. I've had a bit of a difficulty getting my winners to respond back to me. So be sure to hit your notification bell if you do drop me comments below. But I do hope that you come back here for another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile 3. You were drawn to the blue button and to the Duo card here, and this is your reading, a message that you need today from Spirit. The Duo card does represent the Lover's card in the Food Fortunes Tarot, and so you may have a decision that has to be made, impending decision that has to be made in your life at this time. And the Lovers does talk about attraction. Of course, you can see it's like peanut butter and jelly. It goes together really well. So this could be a decision about a person perhaps, or just about which path you should take in a situation. So let's take a look at your reading. Whoops. Let's see what we can do there. A message that you need to hear. We have the Sun coming out for you. So they're here to provide clarity for you, pile 3. And they want to fuel you with confidence that, yes, you have a decision to be made. I want to pair these together, actually. You have a huge decision to be made, perhaps. And you've been dragging your feet about it as well with this Knight of Coins. when perhaps the universe has kind of cleared a way for you. It's like you know what path you should be taking. It's like it's a very clear thing, and Spirit says that you're just kind of dragging on. You can see in the Sun card they're riding a seahorse, and sometimes a seahorse will wrap that tail around a piece of seaweed and just kind of hang out for a while, even though it has a clear sunny day ahead of it. And so Spirit says this is not just any sort of doorway, because it's a doorway to success. It's like we're really urging you to take this path ahead of you that you already sort of know which direction you want to be in, because they say it's going to really help you out. It's really going to help you ascend. We have here the Temperance reversed. Back of the deck is the Four of Swords. So you're in a very passive nature about this situation, about this, and this has perhaps something to do with your position. We're going to clarify this row, but you're being very passive, Spirit says. We have even the Temperance is reversed in the future position. It's like you're afraid to move forward in the path that you want to move forward in, because you're afraid of kind of losing control of the situation. You kind of feel stuck. Oh, no. Ooh, almost fell over. Page of Cups. The Wheel. Oh my goodness. This is, it's like they just keep trying to bolster your confidence. They just keep trying to bolster your confidence. Now this Ten of Cups did sort of come out sideways. And sometimes the Ten of Cups can really represent even a family unit. So you may find that you are trying to make a decision away from something that you have applied a lot of time or a lot of effort into. So the Knight of Pentacles has a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders, and he does sort of, he plods slowly towards, you know, towards his gains, because he's like in that stage of his life perhaps. But they're also really trying to encourage the inclination in your heart here. No matter what you're deciding between here, whether it's between people, whether it's between jobs, whether it's between homes, whether it's like you already know where you want to be. So Spirit says if you already know where you want to be, and that's what the Chariot's telling me, you already know where you want to be. Spirit says now all you need is the drive and the determination to go for it. But you're afraid to just kind of rip that Band-Aid off and speak your truth and head in that direction. It's like you're afraid of the consequences. But this Knight of Wands says, carpe diem. Let's just seize this day. Let's just see what this day has to offer. Let's just see what this opportunity has to offer. Because we may be anticipating storms, but Spirit says we could have a pot of gold waiting for us. This has something to do with this has something to do for someone with their marriage perhaps, or an institution that they're a part of. It has something to do with perhaps a job. Here's the Four of Coins. Back of the deck is the Fool and the Seven of Cups. And there's your Lover's card as well. Sometimes we can get too many options and it confuses us. It's like a buffet. You know, we're sitting in front of a buffet and all of a sudden you're not hungry anymore because it's just too much. Or like when I'm trying to scroll through Netflix or Disney Plus, I just feel like there's too much for me. There's too much for my brain to compute. And the Fool energy is saying that we weave our own destiny. That we weave our own destiny. And so it's time to execute this decision for you, pile 3. And you're kind of keeping yourselves in a bit of a stuck position when we feel kind of out of control because of our own lack mindset here, because of our own fear of creating something that we don't want. But Spirit's here to say that life is supposed to be about risk and adventure. We take it too seriously. They want us to rise above that and to see it as a learning tool, that this is a spiritual vacation that we're learning. It's like I used to liken it to kind of a spiritual university. It's like this is your ship and not your home. You're away at university, you're learning. But you're going to go home eventually and take what you've learned with you. And so it's like a kid at university. They jump into everything. They try all sorts of things. It's a time of exploration. And that's what this lifetime is for you, Group 3. It's a time of exploration. I want to get some clarity here, though. Let me clarify that Knight of Coins, please. Oops. Page of Pentacles. This could have something to do with financial gains too for someone watching. It's like if we're willing to step outside of our comfort zone, we can see a huge onslaught of onslaught, is that a word? Of abundance that flows in, and it affects other realms of our lives as well, because frequency doesn't stay in its lane. And most importantly, Spirit says, is that you're going to, if you take this direction in the direction that you know you want to go in, ultimately, after all of the change and the natural period where we have to recalibrate and come back to balance, Spirit says at the end of that is peace for you, is peace. Peace that you didn't experience in your current environment now. We have the World, and success is coming. That's what they want you to understand, is that you will be successful if you head in this direction. And it feels like there's been a very strong entrepreneurial theme to the readings. They're not all, and I don't even feel this is all concerning entrepreneurship or career. For many, this may even be about, a decision about a relationship that you're considering moving forward from. But they're still saying success is here, that peace is here. There's the Queen of Wands, feeling empowered, focused. She's like a force to be reckoned with. And then there's the Eight of Wands. It's like we just take right off. So if this is a business pursuit that you're considering, Spirit says it's going to be successful, and you should take that risk. If it's a risk, you should take it. You should leap into it, because we weave our own destiny, and you'll never regret the leaps you took. You'll never regret those leaps. You'll always regret the ones you didn't take. And even if it's a situation where you're considering moving forward from a relationship, Spirit says that the chaos, the turmoil, everything will settle down. Will settle down. And ultimately, we still have the Ten of Cups sitting there. We still have emotional happiness. But it really feels strongly towards the options you have in career paths, or the options that you have in improving your situation emotionally, because everything's tied. Everything's tied to emotion. We tie it to everything, and ultimately it has an effect on us. And that's what Spirit wants to see improving, is your emotional state. The message you need, pile 3. You're afraid, though. I know that you're afraid. But this Knight of Wands says, I don't care about the consequences. I assume everything's going to work out. And assumptions can really help us in times like these. It's time to be real with ourselves. And that's why we are starting with the Lover's energy, because Spirit says that, and there's your Lovers again. It's ruled by Gemini for a reason. Very intelligent people. They're able to look at things from every single angle and see the truth in it. And once we see those truths, there is that call, that pressure on us to act upon it in some way. We have here, be humble. And we have shine. New moon in Leo. Be real, be humble, and shine. And I go right back. Where is she? Where's that deck? I go right back to this beautiful Queen of Wands, because I feel like that perfectly describes this beautiful Leo energy that I'm feeling from her. It's like you're afraid to shine in your life. And you may find yourself in a situation where you kind of recede into the background, or you play a supporting role. And Spirit says that's not you. That's not your path. You are the star. And it's not a blow to humility by acknowledging that. That's being real. It's okay for you to shine. It's okay for you to give in to that power inside of yourself, because that's the surrender to the truth of you. Thanks for pile 3, a message that they need to hear. We have the Peacock. This could be challenging, again, your position, your reputation. But it also is, again, a call to not be afraid to shine. It's like you feel like making this decision will be a selfish move in some way, because perhaps it does have an effect on a family unit, or it does have an effect on someone that you care about, you have an emotional attachment to, an emotional investment in. You're afraid to take those masks off. But Spirit says that to be the true authentic version of yourself, that your experience matters. And that's what they really want you to understand, is that your experience matters. No matter how much you're trying to perhaps placate the needs of others, you matter. And especially if you are, and this message is specific for someone, it's not for everyone, if you are a leader or someone who is in charge of other little souls, you have to lead by example. You know, we don't want to set an expectation for people who are watching closely to sacrifice our own needs. You are important, and your experience is important. And how you feel during that experience is really important. We have here uncertainty. Choose who you will become. The uncertainty is going to be there for us forever. We're always going to be fearful of the unknown. But we can be confident in the fact that it's the only thing we can actually guarantee in life, is that change is coming. We're always afraid. But with practice, we can become better at acting anyway, and overcoming the fear with actions and doing things afraid. I don't think that there's ever a person who jumps out of an airplane even 100 times who doesn't have that moment in their stomach where they have that moment of excitement or adrenaline or fear that takes over for a second. I truly don't believe that anyone could do something so fearful and not feel that moment, but they do it again and again, and they get better at it. And they become masters, and they become experts, and they become teachers of that field. And it's because they consistently push themselves to do so. But it wasn't easy, and this won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. Shine bright like a candle. Do not be afraid to take risks, especially with your good ideas, especially with your creative pursuits. If you're considering leaping into more education towards a creative pursuit, that's a great idea, Spirit says. Belong to your own dream and create your own life, not the life of other people's. And you don't have to hold up the expectations of other people in your lifetime. Just because other people did that for other people doesn't mean you have to follow suit, because you're meant to break down those generational type of restrictions, those belief systems that restrict us and that leave us in a state of fear. You're a leader. You're leading the charge. We have earth pulsing. Pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. There's motherhood energy here with this 10 of Cups, so take that as it resonates. It's like perhaps you had to take pause in order to care for others, but now there's a break for you. It's like this is a perfect opportunity, and I feel like you can feel that. And if it's not a perfect timing, if you're like, I'm waiting for that perfect timing, I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for everything to match my definition of perfection before I execute. And Spirit says it will never match your definition of perfection. Because you make that moment happen. You make that moment perfect. Water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. It's time to care for you. It's time to really delve into your own needs, your own pursuits, your own desires, your own goals, your own pathways. What does happiness look like to you? And that's what they want you to chase. That's the path they want you to make, and that's the decision. They want you to choose you. Activated earth, trust where you're led, power lines, ley lines. They want you to choose. And they say, again, they keep saying you already know where you actually want to be going. It's just that you're fearful. You're fearful of taking that first step. But if you're waiting for the sign, Spirit says, here it is. And if you're waiting for permission from the universe, Spirit says, you have that too. You have your own permission. You can give yourself that permission to execute, to leap. Look, as it just flipped over. As I brought my bowl down, I looked at the magician, and then he flipped on his side, and then I saw the Knight of Cups. It's like, but I don't feel powerful. I'm scared. It's like I don't want to execute yet. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Four of Wands as well. very interesting energy. They're sort of all sideways in the Bull too. So there's a passive nature because we have to make this decision. It's like we're stuck at this impasse. We're stuck at this benchmark. And here you can see that the Queen of Cups, she's very emotional. So you may get really emotional when you think about making this decision and about executing. But this, honestly, this situation, this decision that, woo, I'm sorry about the wobble, guys. This decision that you have to make, truly, Spirit says, is an opportunity for you to help to kind of master those emotions that stop you from entering into great opportunities or entering into or taking risks and making decisions that are difficult perhaps. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of master your own emotions that will sometimes work against you when they rile you up and perhaps you lose yourself a little bit in the emotion. I know I'm like that. If I get upset about something, if there's a setback, or if I think about possibilities of failures, I get really worked up. But this is an opportunity for us to master, to practice in keeping ourselves level and even and seeing things from a high perspective. And they say that doorway is just waiting for you to make a decision. We have the Cheshire Cat. And you know, the Cheshire Cat from the Alice in Wonderland, I often think about that scene where he's like, you have to go this way. It's like confusion. We have the Seven of Wands. So you could feel like there's a lot of challenges ahead of you if you take the path that you want to take in your situation. But Spirit says that some of the fear that is being filtered through into your mind is coming from the ego at this time. We have Love on a Foundation, which is talking about foundations of love. So it's talking about perhaps marriages or institutions like that. We have the Horse, which is telling us that we have freedom if we choose so in those dynamics. We always have a choice. We are being tempted by something else, but we feel stuck with the Mermaid, with the Skull. But we recognize that perhaps it's not good for us in our environment right now. Or we know what's best for us, basically, Spirit says. We know what is best for us, ultimately. When we're truthful with ourselves, when we look at things from a higher perspective, we know what's best for us. We have a bicycle with a child. So again, there's a very heavy child vibe with this pile. So take that as it resonates. They are asking us to kind of go from a heart-centered space when we do execute our decision here, if we choose to, because they say do as you would be done by. Almost too simple, but it's all we need to get by. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated. If it did, you can drop me a comment below so that we can get some words of encouragement back to you. And if you are a subscriber to this channel, please hit your notification bell if you drop that comment so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me and so that I can actually notify you if you're chosen the winner. I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below. But I hope that you come back here for another visit with me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.